What is going on, good people? How we doing? Happy Saturday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a good start to their weekend. Um, before we get started, let me know if the audio is good. Let me know if the visual is good. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat or just say that I'm good in the chat and we can get this thing going, man. I'm Big Dash Knows.
Big Dash knows what?
New York Giants football. Let's go and welcome to Late Night Giants Talk. And we got a lot of things to talk about, man. Obviously, the first portion of training camp, the first couple of practices, 4 practices got put together. And I can't wait to get into these conversations because there's a lot of things to be excited about. There's some things that might cause you some concern and everything else, man. Right now, it's good vibes, man. But let me know how everybody's doing, man. I'm going to do a quick roll call for the people that are already in the building. Again, make sure you hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that we in the building, and it will let other Giants fans know that we are in the building. Now, I know some people might be watching, SummerSlam? I think it's night 1 of SummerSlam. It's some boxing events happening right now. I do appreciate the over 40 people in the building already. Again, please hit that like button. But let me get a quick roll call, man. Shout out to everybody already in the building, though. My man Scott Phillips says, what's up, everyone? I hope your Saturday is going well. My man Side Guy Brad said, you too, Scott. Everybody being so friendly in the chat. My man Miguel in the building says, evening, Dash. Chat defense going to be a problem, finally. Listen, outside of day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4, this defense has been showing up for sure, giving the offense all types of fits and headaches, giving Jackson Dart some fits and headaches as well. And guess what? It's the first couple of practices. I'm here for it. They always say that the defense seems to hit their stride a little bit faster than the offense. The New York Giants are off tomorrow. They come back on Monday. Harbaugh did say that Monday will be a padded practice. And yeah, that's when we get to start talking about the trenches and stuff like that. And that part gets me very, very excited. Pause. My man Corky in the building said, good evening, Dash, and everyone else. Hope everyone is well. Tony Benito in the building said a couple of Giants websites were raving about Abdul Carter. Add me to the list. Big Blue Doja, what's going on? He says, what's good, Dash? And the whole effing chat, what's going on? Renee is in the building, said Big Dash knows what? New York Giants football, you already know. LT Hilliard in the building. Deb Ellis is in the building. What's going on, Deb? Q Burrow brother in the building, said Dash and my New York Giants football fam. Well, he said fans, but fam. I'm calling y'all family for sure. Jim Simpson said, I'm good. Thank you very much for letting me know I'm good. John Davis said, I'm good. Scott said, I'm good. Thank you very much. Tyrone Hall in the building said, I'm good. Bama McDabbles. Always love that name, man. Talk me off the ledge with this naggy offense. I'm going to help you out. Today. I'm going to make you feel a little bit better, but I can only do so much. The offense got to do the rest of these next couple of practices to make you feel a little bit better completely. I can help you a little bit. I can help because there's definitely enough to put a smile on your face, maybe not a full-on smile, but enough to make you, grin a little bit. No teeth, though. Pause. Heart and Finish, Kendall says, salute, Big Dash. What's going on? My man Jessa in the building. Jessa, I know you going to the practices coming up. That's right. William says, best interactive Giant content for sure. Listen, I appreciate it, and I hope everybody feels the same way. Hopefully everybody feels like they're heard and they can get their point across in the chat. Also, I try to get to as many comments as possible. Without slowing the stream down. You know what I mean? As a SRG Talk says, good evening. What's going on? Luann in the building said, hey, Dash. Yeah. My man Erlon in the building, too. What's going on, everybody? Will's in the building. Okay, Anthony Cherry in the building. Shout out to all you guys, man. I won't be able to get started, man. So many people in the building already. I appreciate the love, support. Shout out to everybody. Let me get to the bottom of the comments just so I can do that. And then actually, let me go ahead and put the comments on the screen so y'all can see some of the comments as well. All right. Another thing, before we get started, I went to go see Spider-Man today. Spider-Man was fantastic. I'm not going to say anything else outside of that, but Spider-Man was fantastic. If you get a chance to go see it as soon as possible. I was ducking spoilers for what, 3-4 days. 3 days. I've been ducking spoilers for a long time. And yeah, Spider-Man is everything people are saying it is, and even more depending on how deep you are into, Marvel and stuff like that. I think it was fantastic though. And anybody that saw it, let me know in the comment section if you saw it. Let me know what you guys think about it. But don't put any spoilers in the comment section out of respect for the people that did not see him. Now, okay, let's get into this a little bit. Actually, let me get a little background music. It's a little quiet on my end. Just a little bit in the background. Turn that down. Hopefully that's not too loud. Let me know if that's too loud in the comment section. Let me know if that's too I can never tell. My man Kenny in the building said the Punisher was crazy. Now, it was good. It was good. We ain't gonna no spoilers though. No spoilers. It was damn good though. It's funny too because I was asking my family, you know, as far as rankings, whether they put this in the rankings of Spider-Man movies. My oldest still likes the original Spider-Man 2 from the early 2000s. He likes that one more than this one, but I think this might be the best Spider-Man movie that I've seen myself personally. But enough of that. Let's talk about what we came to talk about. We got some camp storylines. We got some people that are already making some noise in camp. The defense obviously has been putting a little belt to ass to the offense. Outside of day one where the offense was cooking, I don't know what Denard Wilson said to those guys after day one of practice, but whatever he said, it worked. And this defense woke up the last 3 days. Biggest storyline. What's going on, DL? I see you out there. My man Prime in the building too. What's going on? My man Tyrone says, I go back to Marvel Comics when an issue was 12 cents. Yeah. Hopefully you still got some of those that cost you 12 cents from back. They probably worth 10 times that right now. Soul Glow in the building too, man. So the first thing, the main storyline, and I know I went live early on the week to discuss it. And let me be the first person to tell everybody in here that I was absolutely wrong. I told everybody in here with some good faith and confidence that I'm not expecting Malik Nabers back until week 5. That's what I said. In order for myself to not get upset, to not be let down, I said, you know, I'm gonna throw week 5 out. I don't expect Malik Nabers back to week 5. Guess what? You know what I saw earlier this week? I saw somebody that looked like they took the super soldier serum with some amazing healing factors, because Malik Nabers went from limping around first base, second base, third base, home plate, and looking like he was staggering during dodgeball, and limping around at the draft bleacher studio, to cutting on a dime in practice, to being out there on the field in practice. Also, I want to apologize to Harbaugh, and because Harbaugh, what did Harbaugh say? He said, "Oh, you know, we expect him back," and I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds good." I saw what he looked like. I saw how gimpy, and guess what? Harbaugh was right too. My man dealer said Malik did the rope-a-dope. Yeah, he roped the dopes. He rope-a-doped everybody. Because just remember, a week ago, all the conversations that sports media was having about Malik Nabers. So the Giants ain't gonna be able to do much without Malik. It just depends on what time he gets back. Well, right now it looks like I'll say it this way. I won't put a date on it, but it looks like, in the words of Kevin Garnett, anything is possible. Anything is possible for Malik Nabers right now. Anything is possible. I'm hoping for week 1, and it's crazy too, because I was like, man, no way week 1. And then also, if he does come back week 1, what is he going to look like? The Malik Nabers that I saw those first 2 days of practice, and today he was out there again working on the sideline. Okay, this is individual drills. This is out there throwing, some routes on air and stuff like that. But seeing that man cut the way that he cut, with what looks like supreme confidence, gets me excited, man. Gets me excited. And the most important thing to that too is, again, we saw him practice on the first day of camp. After that practice, Harbaugh was like, we're going to see, it's a process that we have a plan for him. We're going to see how his body reacts. And I said, you know what? And you guys were at the live. I said, you know what? I said, let's see if he practices day 2. Because that would tell me a lot if he practices day 2. That means his body and his knee reacted well to the first, practices. And he was out there day 2 looking the exact same, if not better. And I said, oh boy, I think we might be all right. Tyrone Hall with the $2 super chat said, gotta dig out Neighbors #1 tee. You get listen, everything Malik Neighbors, you gotta dig out. Pause. That's crazy. But the jerseys, the t-shirts, the hats, the hoodies, I mean the signs, whatever you can find that has Malik Neighbors' name on it, you can absolutely take those out right now for sure. Ja G says, what up, Giants fam? Again, if I didn't say you, welcome to the family reunion. If you're not a New York Giants, if you're not subscribed to this channel and you are a New York Giants fan, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It does more than just like the like button does. Corky says, I was wrong about Malik also, but I'm so glad I was wrong, and I'm really pulling for week 1. I've never been more excited to be wrong. I've never been more happy to be wrong. And listen, I need to slow down a little bit, curb my enthusiasm a little bit. But I just look at the tape, man. The way he was moving, cutting. There was one clip, hard cut. No issues. Seemed like he's confident. Seemed like he's ready to go. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's a chance. What they say? You're telling me there's a chance? I'm telling you there's a chance. There's absolutely a chance. So Malik Neighbors participating in practice, individual drills and stuff like that. Fantastic. They have a plan. The plan looked like it's working. And yeah, excited about that for sure. Is it Shamel? Shamel says he's playing week 1. A lot of people are feeling that way. My man Dealer says, I think based on how Malik is sticking his foot in the ground and getting up the field on those slants, it's a fairly good chance that he's ready for week 1. That's the thing that did it for me. Being able to cut like that. Now, running in a straight line is one thing, but he was absolutely cutting without hesitation. Sharp. Absolutely sharp. Luann says, I think Harbaugh will put Leak in week 1, but only for a few plays. Keep the Cowgirls guessing. Listen. I know what he looks like now, and you figure right now he's probably like 75%. He's probably like 75%, maybe 80%, man. If it's a regular human being, that's 100% for a regular human being. For Malik Neighbors, that's probably 75, 80%. Again, you have this plan in place. There is no rush to get him out there, but we've seen him out there. And as long as he's moving around like that, I'm happy with the chances of him, playing week 1 for sure. Scott says Neighbors' knee looks looking good so far. It does. It absolutely does. William J says Neighbors' mind sounds like he's in a good place. More mature. There was definitely an entitlement under Dable. Now he's got a better attitude. I can't speak to that too much. I understand. And a lot of things are coming out too. Darius Slate was at the podium today because he had mentioned at the end of the season, after they cleared out the coaching staff, that they needed somebody in that was Coughlin like. And then they asked him, well, what do you think about Harbaugh? He says Harbaugh is definitely cut from that same cloth, and basically saying accountability in the building. There's accountability now. Alluding, he didn't say it, but alluding to the fact that there was not accountability with the prior regime or coaching staff. So I'm excited about that too. Dealer says he got 6 weeks. Yes, he does still have 6 weeks. We got 44 days, 44 days, 43 days, I think, to week 1. So I'm excited about that too. Paul says New York media fed us BS on Malik. Listen, I don't even think New York media did that because they had no clue. Remember what Jordan Renan did? Jordan Renan said, he was scared. It was more serious than you thought, and he might not be ready. Then a week before training camp, he flipped and said Malik actually might be on track. So they didn't know. New York media didn't know, and that's what it is. And it's funny to me, not funny, but we see how mainstream sports media break stories before the beat writers sometimes beat stories. And I'm just sitting here like, man, well, what, like, they don't mess with y'all. The Giants don't mess with the local beat writers, so they can't break stories. They got to sit around and guess. But again, we there's relationships that are built in that office, and hopefully, these guys can break some stories. But so far, they've been on the outside looking in, just like us for the most part, respectfully, because they do good work though. They absolutely do good work, And when they didn't allow the fans in the building, I was on social media refreshing my screen like every 5 minutes looking for updates, and the beat writers absolutely provided the updates this week. And also, I do not like the new rules. I will say this about John Harbaugh. I do not like the new rules personally, being selfish. Not seeing any clips. They're not able to post during, live portions of some practices. And I understand why, but also I want to see how well my Giants are looking, and they've been keeping everything under wraps, and I respect it. I absolutely respect it. I don't like it for my own personal greed, though. But I do want to talk about some storylines. We're going to get into some storylines. We'll get to some more of these comments, too. Big Blue Doja says, can't wait to keep Slayton hands accountable. I mean, listen, Jugs Machine. That's what the Jugs Machine is for. That's what it's for. Luann giving me the update on the score. Yanks lead 2-1. That last time I checked, it was top of the fifth, and it was they was down. It was 0-1. Last time I checked. So good to hear that the Yanks are now leading 2-1. Aaron Mason says, Dash, my boy, what's good? What's going on, Aaron, man? I'm chilling, man. I'm excited about these practices. So I do want to get into some quotes from Harbaugh, and one thing that I took and ran with, might have been after day one of practice. He made the comment that we're not just here practicing the practice. We are preparing for the games. And he didn't mean the preseason games. He meant week one. We are preparing for games. And there was a clip on Twitter, and somebody had, it was just a clip of the Dallas Cowboys in training camp. It was like a running play or something like that. And I put it underneath the comments. I said, John Harbaugh and the staff are watching these tapes right now, preparing for week one. And I remember one of my close Dallas Cowboy fans, my man Nick, said, shouldn't y'all be focused on your own team right now? I said, absolutely not. I said, Harbaugh told me, everybody, that we're not just practicing the practice. We're preparing for games. That means we're preparing for the Dallas Cowboys. And I love it, man. No nonsense out there on the field. The practice pace is amazing. Shout out to Talking Giants. Shout out to the Giants Nation show. Shout out to who was the other one? Big Blue Interactive. Shout out to Ed Valentine too, keeping us updated. They said the pace of practice. Dan Duggan and the beat writers, of course. They said that the practice is nonstop, great pace. Guys out there getting in shape, and I love it too, because there's a couple of players on that offensive line. When I say a couple, I mean one. There's a player on that offensive line that's a little bit out of shape. And I'm happy that these practices are as intense as they are, because he got a couple more weeks. What you say, deal 6 weeks? He got 6 weeks to get into a little bit better shape. My man got him a nice check and looked like he gained a little bit of weight. I'm not fat shaming. I'm just saying, got to get in shape for sure. Dominant defense, offense struggling. We got some things to talk about, depending on how you feel about it. I had somebody tweet under my most recent video that I put out earlier today. He says, man, it's going to be a long season with this Nagy offense, and we got to pump the brakes. We got to pump the brakes a little bit, man. In regards to the offense struggling, again, there are some high notes to this. When we say the offense is struggling, a lot of people are pointing at, some of the targets from Jackson Dart. Obviously, he started off training camp. Believe he only had one incompletion, and that was a drop by Theo Johnson in the first day. Fantastic. And then it's crazy too, because at that point in time, people are like, well, damn, what's wrong with the defense? What's wrong with the defense? Jackson Dart was almost perfect. What's wrong with the defense? And then day 2 happened, and then day 3 happened, and now day 4 happened. And you've seen a bunch of interceptions, not just by Jackson Dart, but by Jameis Winston also. You've seen some batted balls. You've seen some pick sixes. And now everybody's worried about it. Flipped. You were worried about the defense after day 1, and now everybody's worried about the offense. I'm saying pump the brakes, man. This is an entirely new system. When it comes to defense has a new system too, but defense is a little bit different. Your assignments, your roles are usually the same. It's usually just some communication might be slightly different, and also assignments might be slightly different, but it's just so much you're responsible for let's say like a middle linebacker is only responsible for so much. There's so much that you could change playing the middle linebacker position. Same thing for the defensive line, same thing for the secondary. But when it comes to the offense, things are there's so many different parts, moving parts that are happening. It takes a little bit longer to catch up. So despite some struggles, some early struggles by Jackson Dart, there's still some bright spots here, because with every argument that you're having, there's mention of Malachi Fields absolutely in the runnings for wide receiver 2 by week 1. And I know a lot of people sitting here like, how do we know that already? The way they're bringing his name up, and it's not just one source, two sources. It's almost everybody out there saying, they keep saying the same thing, that Malachi Fields is out there flashing for real. Pause. And I'm sitting here, they're talking about as good as advertised, making plays, looking sharp, looking fast, sure hands, moving his sticks. All the cliches. Malachi Fields is already making noise. Now, also, it's a little bit funny what the depth chart goes to, because a lot of people have been reporting that Darius Slayton right now is still wide receiver 2. They said, but to me, it does not make sense, because if you're telling me that Slayton is wide receiver 2, who's wide receiver 1 right now during the 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s if Slayton is wide receiver 2? Somebody, if you guys know the answer, I know some people that been to training camp, let me know in the comment section. If you know, if Darius Slayton right now, by all the reports I'm seeing, Darius Slayton is still wide receiver 2. Who the hell is wide receiver 1 right now? Because for me, if Neighbors is not playing, shouldn't Slayton be wide receiver 1? And then whoever else is on the field lined up with him, wide receiver 2. But somebody let me know. Make it make sense to me. Dealer says Malachi may prove me wrong. I hope he does. Listen, when it comes to the success of the New York Giants, if I'm doubting anybody, I hope that I'm wrong. That's the one thing about it. I hope that I'm wrong. So I'm just like you. If Malachi Fields proves me wrong, fantastic. That means the New York Giants are succeeding in that portion of the game. But Malachi Fields has been a bright spot already for the New York Giants, and it's only been the first 4 practices, and he's been making noise despite all of the quote-unquote struggling that's happening with the offense. Outside of that too, man, when it comes to the offense, we heard that the running game, even though there's no pads on right now, they said that the blocking schemes and the way they have the guards pulling, centers pulling, and stuff like that Greg Roman has really, just as far as run coordinating, was it the run off? What was it called? Running game coordinator. That's his title. Running game coordinator. He is putting together a hell of a plan. We saw Cam Scatterbull at the podium talking about, it seems like, and as far as practice goes, that we're going to be running the ball a lot. And as far as the personnel goes, not only have we seen 12 personnel, we've also seen some 13 personnel as well. And somebody that has shut me up so far too in the tight end room is Chris Manhertz. What was it? 2 practices ago, Chris Manhertz was the best tight end on the field, is what they made it seem like. He had some big catches. I believe it's 3 big catches in day 2 of practice. So yeah, we all have some times in our life where we're proven wrong. And again, if me being wrong means the Giants are better, then hey, so be it. Let me get to more of these comments. Ty Morris says, I think offensively will be good. We just need the offensive line to do their job and stay healthy. 100%. To let some people know, as far as the offensive line, the starters are the starters. What I found surprising is that Daniel Falele right now is running as right guard with the second team. Running and Stinney is the left guard with the second team. I felt like they would play Daniel Falele more on the left side because of Runyon's contract and also because of Runyon's, kind of being like the weakest link on the offensive line, respectfully. I thought that we would see more Daniel Falele on the left side, and we have not seen that yet. Again, no pads. We'll see what happens next week once the pads come on. But I thought it was interesting to see that Stinney was there at left guard. That's one thing that surprised me. Also, on the defensive side, Darius Alexander, not saying that this is a surprise, but I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. Actually, what doesn't make sense to me also is what kind of front are we running if if Darius Alexander is defensive tackle number 2 right now over Shelby Harris. Again, there's a lot of questions, and we don't have a lot of answers as far as the formations and the fronts when it comes to this defense and what the traditional odd man front is going to look like. But if Shelby Harris is running with the 2s and they only talk about DJ Reader and Darius Alexander, what does that front look like? Is it more of that hybrid front where we see more Chauncey Golston as a defensive end in that 3-4, or is it Kayvon Thibodeau playing with his hand in the dirt? Sometimes I did see, who was it, Justin Pinnock talking about they moved Kayvon on the inside on certain packages where they had him, Burns, and Abdul Carter on the field at the same time, and that's something we thought about too. We thought about Kayvon Thibodeau stepping down and putting his hand in the dirt, and they've already had reports of that from practice too. So I'm excited about that. Other people, another person on offense that's standing out right now. Surprisingly, Braxton Berrios. Braxton Berrios is another name that's been jumping off too. Let me get some more of these comments. Hold on. We are going to talk about Abdul Carter a little bit more. Abdul Carter looking like a stud, my dark horse of the season to lead the team. Can you really call him a dark horse though? Can you really call him a dark horse, Oglo? I don't know. I can't qualify him as a dark horse, man. There's a lot of expectations with Abdul Carter. I don't know if he qualifies, man. Garcia's Tattoo Studio. What's going on? He says, yo, I heard Marshall Green from Giants Now mention your name on the live stream yesterday. I would love to see a joint live stream with you and him. Needs to happen, brother. Now, shout out to Marshall Green, man. Shout out to Giants Now too, man. What did he say? Let me know what he said. He mentioned my name. Now, we talk back and forth on Twitter. I haven't got a chance to be on the show, but I do support Giants Now. I'm tuned in a lot, and I am active in the comment section. You guys know that I'm live in the comment section too, man, especially Big Blue Kickoff Live. I see a lot of the same people in Big Blue Kickoff Live. We get a chance to chop it up in the chat. Did that a couple of times this week, but yeah, man, shout out to Marshall Green, and thanks for the shout out, Marshall. Atlantic JM says, man, I feel like Tyrone Bigum's fiending for the preseason game in 2 weeks. Listen, man, I got excited last week because I was like, you know what? I said, Hall of Fame game is on the 6th. That's Thursday. Is our game that Saturday? And then, of course, I was disappointed because we got to wait an entire week. But yeah, man, like preseason Hall of Fame game, Hall of Fame game, that Hall of Fame game, if you want to call it preseason, you can. It qualifies. That's Thursday. That's this Thursday, man. We have NFL football, even though Hall of Fame game, nobody's going to. Hall of Fame game next week. Excited about that. Danny says facts about Nagy. Listen, we don't know. We don't know yet. He said, I can't stand that dude. We don't know yet. Nagy wasn't my first choice either. He wasn't my first choice. Wasn't my second choice. Out of all the choices, it really on as hires for the staff, I didn't like Nagy the most. But you know what it is when you're in the car, you got to ride, throw your seatbelt on. So I want to see what he does. I absolutely want to see what he does, and I can't blame the offensive struggles off Nagy alone, because we've seen people break down plays. We've seen some people tiptoe around certain comments about passes being late, passes taking a little bit too long to get holding on to the ball too long. Things like that have happened too. But guess what? I think it's just the defense right now. And until that man gets comfortable in this new offense, again, a new scheme, he's still learning. I think they'll have a better week. Offense will definitely have a better week once the pads come on. Once that offensive line is able to put hands on this defensive line and the defensive players, we will get a real idea of what this offense looks like. But right now on air, the Giants defense is doing what they need to do right now. So where was I at though? I want to talk about Braxton Berrios really quickly. Braxton Berrios, similar to what Deilla said, Braxton Berrios, I won't say he proved me wrong, but I wasn't expecting him to be talked about as much. They said he looks good out there, not just on returns. He's talking about as far as what he can do as a wide receiver. And you know what? I'm excited about it. Who else I have on there? Isaiah Likely. The rapport between Jackson Dart and Isaiah Likely is building. And again, we talk about struggles, but at the end of the day, they're still talking about people that have been making plays, and there are some plays being made on offense still. Just like Theo Johnson had a bounce back day today. 3 big catches today after having, some consecutive practices with some big drops. 3 big catches for him today. Harbaugh spoke about the tight end room and said that the tight ends were going to be heavily involved in the passing game this year, especially on early downs. Now, again, heavy run scheme, and now Harbaugh's talking about the tight ends getting involved. This is all about the quick game, in my opinion. If you're talking about a heavy run game, but when you're talking about the tight ends getting involved in the passing game and early downs, we're talking about a true West Coast offense, and I hope people understand what that means. A lot of dinking and dunking. It's about timing. It's about dinking and dunking. For me, as long as you're moving the sticks, I'm cool. And of course, you have somebody like Malik Nabers, so you're gonna have some deep shots too. There's gonna be a fair share of passing too. But please understand what the West Coast offense means. And it's gonna be a lot of dinking and dunking, but I think they will mix up some big plays as well. Let's see what we got here. Scott says that is why training camp gets those kinks out. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, make mistakes during camp. Make the mistakes during camp. And him and Jameis got their share of interceptions. Finally got a Colton Hood shout out today. Colton Hood got his first interception of training camp. That was against Jameis Winston. Loving that. Soul Glow says Darnell Mooney has talked about, was talked about, I'm assuming. Darnell Mooney was talked about as number 1. I don't know. I don't know. It's probably one play that they mentioned Mooney. I think it was day 2 at practice. Deep shot to Mooney up the seam from Jackson Dart. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Like I said, I've been hearing a lot of Malachi Fields. I've been hearing a lot of the tight ends, Isaiah Likely. I've heard a little bit of Calvin Austin, which disappoints me a little bit, but still. And then, of course, the run game. The run game has been solid so far. Again, padless. Danny Boy says Mooney is a bad dude, just needs a new place. You know what? I went back and watched, and I didn't want to watch all 22. I just went back and watched, some highlights of Darnell Mooney. And despite him being, like, he's skinny. Like, you see it, like he's skinny, but he's also willing. And I've seen him catch passes over 2 defenders. I've seen him break tackles. And it's just like whenever the game is on, Darnell Mooney shows up. And I can't wait to see what kind of impact he has on his offense. Because again, with Jackson Dart, I see Jackson Dart as a gunslinger. And I see that as a positive. Because you're going to give your guys chances to make plays. Give your playmakers a chance to make plays. And Darnell Mooney is a playmaker. Isaiah Likely is a playmaker. Theo Johnson, when he holds on to the ball, we've seen him as a playmaker at times. Even the people we hate, like Darius Slayton, at times can be a playmaker. Malik Nabers, obviously a playmaker. Scatterboo, Tracy, these guys make plays. But it's all about what the quarterback does, and if the quarterback gives you a chance. That's why we didn't like Daniel Jones so much, because he would not pull the trigger. You don't have to worry about Jackson Dart pulling the trigger, because that's something that he will do, give his guys a chance to make plays, and that's why you're seeing these interceptions as well. Again, he's not the only one. You heard Jameis Winston throwing interceptions as well. Danny Boyd says Roman has a bag in the run game. Yes, he does. I consume a lot of Giants content, especially for people that are in the building. So Talking Giants, Giants Nation, those guys were in the building. So when those guys put out videos, I want to get that information. And always listen to certain things that they're not mentioning a lot, but they bring up because it interests them. And Bobby Skinner had mentioned just a pulling concept from the offensive line. And it's not just the backside guard pulling, it's also the front side guard pulling. And then you see also JMS pulling. So you got 3 offensive linemen pulling. And I'm sitting here like, well, there's still some responsibility. Somebody got to stay home, but it's supposedly supposed to be working. I can't wait to see it. Because at the end of the day, you got 12 and 13 personnel happening too. And you got a fullback on the field. So if you got somebody pulling, guess who's going to replace that guard that's pulling? The fullback. And I played fullback too in high school. And whenever that guard pulled, who was taking the spot? of that guard that was pulling, who had the responsibility of the person that the guard left while he was pulling the fullback. And yeah, Pat Ricard is all that for sure. Big Blue Reborn in the building. What's going on, man? He said just got home. Shout out to the now. I don't know who else was in the building at practice for training camp. Big Blue Reborn was there. Hopefully you guys got a chance to reach out and holler at those guys for sure. Hey, I got some questions for you, man. Let me know what you've seen too. Let me know if I'm missing anything, because anybody that was in the building, I value those opinions of what they saw. And yeah, we might get some new nuggets that we haven't heard yet. So let me know. Get active in the chat for sure. BX, what's going on? It's just Dash playing with the ones. What you mean by that? I'm playing with the ones. What you mean by that? Mr. Hanson, what's going on? It's just Dash. What up, bro? Man, Arvell is about to set the league on fire. If you had to choose one player, offense or defense, you're excited to see this year, who is it? He says his two are Dart and Arvell. Obviously for me, when it comes to the offense, is the quarterback. I want to see Jackson Dart take the next step in his development and cement himself as a franchise quarterback. So it's definitely the quarterback on the offensive side. Obviously I care about the offensive line too. I want to see if JMS can actually earn his next contract, because right now, who knows? But on the defensive side, man, I can't even pick just one on the defensive side, man. Arvell Reese is a good pick too. And I'm going to talk about Arvell Reese in a minute once I get move over to the defensive side. But to me, on the defensive side is Darius Alexander. I'll say that right now. I need the defensive line to have somebody on it. Now, again, we expect certain things from DJ Reader. We have hopes for Darius Alexander. That's who I'm most excited to see. I want to see him take the next step, because if he can take the next step, that just helps one of the weakest parts of our defense. So Darius Alexander on the defensive side for me, Jackson Dart on the offensive side for me, and Malachi Fields is like creeping in now, because Malachi Fields, for me, I thought, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. I really didn't see the wide receiver 2 things yet. But if he keeps making plays like this, and then once we get into the preseason, if he's doing the same thing in the preseason, then I don't see anybody really holding him off from that wide receiver 2 spot for sure. Dealer said they've been running a lot of 2 tight end sets from I saw 12 personnel. I saw also some 13 personnel too that they mentioned. I'm curious to see exactly what that lineup was too. Are they really putting 3 tight ends on the field, or is Pat Ricard playing in the tight end roles? They have him on the line. I don't know. These are the kind of questions that I hope to ask some of the beat writers. If I can get a beat writer on, man. I've reached out to a couple beat writers. I do have Patty Trainer coming on later on in the month, right before the season starts, so that should be cool. So look for that in the end of the month. But other than that, man, I'm trying to get, these guys are busy, man. It's training camp. A lot of these beat writers are busy. They're away from their families. It might be too much to ask right now. But I am trying to get some more people on the show too. Definitely to have that point of view from people that are in the building. Anthony Phillips, what's going on? He says, we are preparing for the playoff push, and I'm glad we are under the radar. Let the naysayers keep that same energy. Giants let go. Speaking of that, just a quick side note. I was watching it was late last night too, man. I was watching TP Way, and it was they had the Eagles show going on, right? The Eagles and my man Leo, he's an Eagles fan, and he is the most Eagle fans out there. Exactly what you think an Eagle fan is, that's exactly what he is. On his high horse. I cannot wait, and this has nothing to do with nothing today as far as training camp. I cannot wait to play the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys, people that have been following me, you guys know that I hate Philadelphia more than Dallas. I damn sure hate them more than the Washington Commanders. I hate Philadelphia. I hate the Eagles. I cannot wait to play the Eagles, man. I want to beat up the Eagles and the crazy thing about it is more just to be able to talk trash to the fans, not even just beating the Eagles. Now that's one thing. Obviously, you want to but I just want to shut the fans up so bad. Eagle fans, so bad. I got respect for Eagle content creators, but I can't stand y'all at the same time, man. I can't stand y'all at the same time. Friendly fire. Why My man Pete Wine is in the building. What's going on? He says, are you ready for some football? I'm absolutely ready for football. H-Town, what's going on, H-Town? He says, been screaming 12-13 personnel back when Dash was on Big Pat Sports before he even started going live. Good to know competent coaching is finally in the building. 12 and 13 personnel wins championships. That's before I even had a channel, H-Town. That's before I even had a channel. We talking 2021, 2022. Yeah, I started my channel in May of 2022. So we talking a while ago. So shout out to you, H-Town, for being a day one, 100%. Tony Benito says, Dash, I think me and you are better defensive coaches than Shane Bowen. He says, big expectations for the defense this year. I got high expectations for this defense. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the defense. Let's talk about this quote unquote dominant defense that has taken storm on day 2, 3, and 4 of training camp so far. Again, after the first day, I don't know what Denard Wilson said. I don't know what he put in the Gatorade. I don't know what happened, but this defense has locked in, and it's not just one player here, one player there. No, everybody down to the backups. I'm hearing Lake Kufotu making plays. I'm hearing Tay Banks out there making plays. Paulson Adebo got an interception finally, and people started to write him off too. Who's it? Nubin with a would-be sack. So you got safeties down in the box coming off the edge. Abdul Carter pretty much got the best of Andrew Thomas. And I will say this again. I will say this because once they put the pads on, then come talk to me. So I take that with a grain of salt because we already know when it comes to speed, Abdul Carter has one of the fastest first steps out there, period. Not just on the Giants, but just period. So I take that with a grain of salt. But even Andrew Thomas on the presser was like, we making each other better. And I'm just sitting here like that. Yeah, that's a humbling comment in my opinion. But yeah, so Abdul Carter has been doing his thing. Looks unblockable out there. Brian Burns getting in the backfield consistently. Kayvon Thibodeau getting moved around, getting in the backfield consistently. Again, I finally got a comment from DJ Reader. Haven't heard much about Shelby Harris. Haven't heard much about my man Bobby Jam. But Darius Alexander got an interception to end practice in the 2-minute drill. Micah McFadden got an interception in the 2-minute drill. Who was it? Edmonds got an interception today. Like Arvell Reese in zone is covering up everything. Pass defends. You got who's it? You got Phillips. Tackles for losses, which we know that's one of his strong suits is supporting the run. But like everybody on this defense is making plays. Damn near everybody is making plays. And I'm just sitting here like, okay. But Arvell Reese showing up in coverage, that was something that was a question mark for a lot of people. So now let's talk about Arvell Reese a little bit. But before I get started, let's get some more of these comments too, because I'm going to get behind. And before I move on to Arvell Reese, I want to see what some of you guys are talking about. Pete Wine says, now you're going to have a good year and be a head coach somewhere next year. Heard it here first. You know what's crazy about that though, Pete? If he does have a good year, I don't know if I want him to leave right then and there. Because let Jackson Dart get comfortable for a bit. Let Jackson Dart. Now, obviously, head coaches want to move on and be head coaches again. I understand that, or be head coaches for the first time. But if this offense is successful, let me get at least 2 years before you move on, Nagy. Unless you feel comfortable enough to go ahead and promote Callahan to offensive coordinator. Because, I mean, there's probably some successions that are in place, possibly, but we talking way too soon now. Pete, you said it. You heard it here first. I hear you. I'll give you that credit too, but I don't need Nagy leaving after year one if Jackson Dart is developing and looking good. Aaron Mason says, I'm hearing hybrid 3-4 that's more tailored to the players. That's absolutely what Denard Wilson is doing. We can't, but there's no pictures. They had one video finally that somebody snuck out somebody snuck and took. One video we've seen so far, that was the pass from Jackson Dart, first pass of practice today in 7-on-7s. was a deep pass. They said it was 50 yards plus to Malachi Fields. He pretty much mossed Greg Newsome. And some people said it was a touchdown. It didn't look like it was a touchdown. It looked like this was a deep pass completion. But anyway, but I'm sitting here like, yeah, they're tailoring this defense to the players. I need a screenshot at least of what the front looks like, because the way they got the film, I can see Arvell Reese clearly. You can kind of see who the defensive line, but you really can't. The way that they have it cut, you really can't see exactly who's all on the field at the same time. And again, also it's 7-on-7. It's 7-on-7. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly what this defense looks like. And then when we get to the preseason, we're still not going to know what it looks like, because it's going to be a super vanilla defense in preseason. They're not listen, the fans can't even get video. The fans can't even get video, record video, and take it home with them. So you know for sure that Harbaugh and his Giant staff are not giving anybody anything when it comes to the preseason. It's going to be vanilla as hell. We're not even going to know what this offense or this defense really looks like until week 1 versus Dallas. And for me, I'm mad about it, but also I respect it. I respect it at the end of the day. FaZe, what's going on? Says Big Dash, listening while working. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you for tuning in while you're working too, man. Hopefully you have a good shift, man. Hopefully you have a good shift. Cap and Guy, what's going on? Not dealer. Who's it? Greg T says heavy run game and tight end involvement is to help the young quarterback. 100%. 100%. Dinkin and Duncan, 100%. Well, outside of the running game, what's the quarterback's best friend? The tight end. Hook the curl, short, shallow routes, outs. You know, tight end's gonna get heavy targets this year, and whoever's in the slot, heavy targets this year. And then once we get into that play action, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. Then Danny says, Nagy is not a leader of men. Listen. You feel how you want to feel. I understand why you're saying that too, because right now, all we got to go off of is Chicago and working under Andy Reid with the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you put that out there, you are absolutely right. We don't know exactly what's going on. You have an idea of him. If you feel like he's not a leader of men, that's cool. That's cool. I can't argue against it because we have not seen too much otherwise. Now, I do know that he took a bum-ass Bears team to the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky as a quarterback, and he got Darnell Mooney 1,000 yards. I believe his sole 1,000-yard receiving, but I don't know. You might be 100% right. I don't know. I will say this, though. I hope you're absolutely wrong. For the sake of the Giants, I hope you're absolutely wrong. I hope you're wrong. But we all entitled to our opinions for sure. Big Blue Reborn. Again, they were at the practice. Says defense looks crazy. Darius might be ready to make the leap. Jackson was trying to thread the needle today, but 5 picks total from the defense. 5 picks today total from the defense. Hold on a second. I know Dart had 2 today. Winston had 1 today, because who picked off Winston? Colton Hood picked off Winston. I know Jackson Dart had 2 interceptions. One was a tip by Tremaine Edmonds that Poston Adebo picked off. And then also Edmonds just flat out picked Jackson Dart too in zone defense. Where are these other 2 interceptions? Let me know. Let me know in the chat where those other 2 interceptions came from. I'm curious. Again, anybody that was in the building was watching practice, let me know what you guys saw on any of those days. This is a recap of the first 4 practices, just not today. So any kind of information that you guys have, share with the chat. Don't be stingy. Share with your family. It's a family reunion. Where we at? Luann says another coaching staff and a new playbook. Let's hope this staff stays together. I'm saying they got to stay together for a bit, man. If Nagy is successful, let's keep it going, man. I don't want to keep changing offensive coordinators. Let's get settled. Let's master an offense before we start moving on. And just to think about there's a lot of coaching changes this year. I'm hoping that nobody gets fired. That way there's no jobs for people to go after. But that's impossible. It's a lot of coaches on the hot seat right now. Big Sky says update on the kicker battle. The update on the kicker battle is actually a kicking battle again. Because going into training camp, it seemed like it was Dominic Zaveda and nobody else. Ben Sauls was struggling in the spring, and then now they got the training camp. Ben Sauls has seemed to solve whatever was happening in the spring, and he's actually making it in kicking competition again. Zaveda had a hell of a day today. Ben Sauls had a hell of a day yesterday, and is back to being an actual competition. So that's the update on the kicker battle. We are not bringing in a new kicker yet. No reports of that yet. There's a lot of rumors about possibly bringing in a veteran kicker because Ben Sauls looked so bad in the spring. But started these 4 training camp practices. It is back on as far as the kicking battle. That's the update that I have as far as the kicking battle. And I'm happy about it too, man, because UDFA just winning the job because the other guy sucks is not the best option. But if it's an actual competition where both kickers are actually doing well, then I would much rather see that. And I'm curious to see how they handle that in the preseason games, for sure. Greg T, what's going on? He says defense been dominating as they should. That means we are understanding what our identity is supposed to be. Now, one thing they said about, and this is conflicting too, because some people said, that the defensive scheme was not easy. But Denard Wilson said he tries to simplify things. So which one is it? I'm gonna go with what the defensive coordinator saying. He's going to try to simplify things. And if you're looking at the production so far in training camp, maybe it is simplified. Not saying that it's a simple defense, just simplifying the assignments seems to be working so far because you got a lot of interceptions, turnovers in practice so far, and not just from cornerbacks. We got offensive linemen and linebackers getting interceptions in training camp so far. Again, Micah McFadden, Tremaine Edmonds, these guys are getting, what's Darius Alexander? These guys are getting interceptions as well. What was it? Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau had a pick six. Kayvon Thibodeau had a pick six where he tipped the ball, caught the interception, and took it to the house. And let me tell you this, man. Remember what we said. Right now is a good time to pay, Kayvon Thibodeau. And the way that Harbaugh is talking about having three outside linebackers on the field a lot of the time, I don't know if we can afford him if he has a good season. And if we're on a playoff hunt, that means we're not going to trade him before the playoffs. So go ahead and get the deal done while you can do it. That's what I'll say to that. But I'm just a guy on YouTube talking about the team he loves the most. We'll see what happens with that. Pete Weiner says, all I'm saying, if you can take Trubisky to the playoffs, you've done a hell of a job. Just saying. I mean, listen, he did it once. He did it. I mean, man, actually, might have did it twice. Did he take the Bears to the playoffs twice? He might have did it twice. I don't know. Maybe. Let me get down to the bottom and get caught up with some of these comments because right now I am about 14 minutes behind. My bad, Tyrone Hall, Mr. Super Chat, man. So he says, Tyrone Hall with the $2 Super Chat says, I need the Giants to win. A lot of haters in North Carolina. It's a lot of haters everywhere, man. It's a lot of haters everywhere, man. I can't listen. That's one of the reasons why I want the Giants. I want the Giants to be good just because I want them to be good too, but I also want to be able to talk trash. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Full transparency. I want to be able to talk trash. I want to be able to see a group of people talking about their football team and be able to poke my chest out and talk about my football team too. That's what I want. I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't think it's too much to ask. Right? I don't think so, right? It's not too much to ask. Big Blue Reborn says defense is flying around 1s, 2s, and 3s. Our loud communication from the players you can hear from the sideline. Denard running a tight ship, 3 safety sets. Thank you for bringing that up. 3 safety sets. That brings me up to the next person that's an early standout. Our Darius Washington. Where my man Dealer at, man? Dealer has been talking about our Darius Washington and since we signed him. And the biggest storyline of camp when it comes to our Darius Washington is his grasp of this defense. It's like he has a full-on understanding already of what this defense is. He's lining people up when he's out there. 3 safety sets. I'm loving it. We're seeing nickel. Some people said we're also seeing dime, which I'm curious to see what the hell our dime looks like, because when it's a dime, you got six players in the secondary out there, and that means you either have an additional linebacker off the field or you're pulling a lineman off the field. So what the hell does that look like? So I'm curious to see what this defense. But again, we won't know. We won't know until the season starts with these vanilla ass preseason games. But thank you for bringing up 3 safety sets. Dealer, shout out to you for our Darius Washington. Keeping our Darius Washington in the comment section for sure. But yeah, hearing that he's out there in full control in that secondary, lining people up. There was a play where Colton Hood was lined up on the wrong side. And the communication, like my Big Blue Reborn was saying, it's a lot of communication, loud communication out there. Our Darius Washington caught it and made sure that Colton Hood, got over to the right side. But that's what I'm just talking about, man. I love it. I love it. 5 picks total today. So did Brandon Allen throw a couple of them too? Is that where the other interceptions came from? Aaron Mason says Dash bro 3-4 hybrid with the defense being tailored. You just said that though. You organized chaos. I like that too. It came up twice or maybe 3 times, man. Let's see. King Chris TV says Fields gonna be a problem. I think so too, man. Again, I can't wait. Big Blue Reborn says it's all intentional because Harbaugh was not having cameras out for damn near the whole practice. Fort Knox. Yeah, he got it locked up, man. He got it locked up. I thought it was funny too because Bobby Skinner said that when that video went around of that pass, of that completion dart to Fields, he had reposted it. And as soon as he reposted it, somebody from the Giants staff approached him asking if he was the one that recorded the video. And he was like, no. And then, he took the retweet down. And that's crazy to me because they actually sending people into the stands. Like, hey, was that you? They even holding the fans accountable, man. That is crazy, but I love it. I love it at the end of the day. And shout out to whoever that was that recorded that video and posted that video, whoever that was, shout out to you. Because guess what? You won't be able to go to another practice this training camp. That was a one-time thing, and hopefully you got away with it. But if you didn't get away with it, we'll see you during the season sometime. Because you're not going to be able to get back into those practices. I apologize for that for you. Luann, what you mean? She said, I feel sorry for Dak already. Listen, the way these guys are flying around, third and long is going to be, if we can get teams in 3rd and long and get these edge rushers to pin their ears back. Yeah. I don't even feel sorry for Dak. Get him. That's all I got to say. Get him. See ball, go get ball. In the words of Lawrence Taylor. Greg T says Wilson is running what hold on. Wilson is running what these kids have been running since high school in some cases. The modern 4-2-5, 3-3-5 base defense with the quarters, cover 6, cover 3 man match being the base coverages. He's doing all of that, man. I just want to see it. Like it's like it's word of mouth right now because there's no video of it, but it's word of mouth right now. People are actually seeing this, and that's exactly what's happening. Also single high. First time hearing that was today, that they ran some single high. A single high look. When the last time we seen single high? And who is it in that position for single? I'm assuming it got to be Holland that's single high, right? But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I keep saying it. I'm excited. Aaron Mason says they had Jack Kelly running with the ones. There's a lot of rotations happening. I saw that too. There's a lot of rotation. I mean, clearly, we already know Edmonds and Reese are the starters going into the season. We know that. But it's also important to see what Jack Kelly can do against the ones. Because if you just got Jack Kelly playing against the 2s or the 3s, you really don't know what he's going to look like. So mixing these guys in, I heard also with the secondary. With the secondary, there were times where it was Debo wasn't on the field, and it was like Banks, who was it? Banks, Newsome, and Phillips. So they doing a lot of moving around, man. And they obviously, you want people to be versatile in the system. But listen, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I am Carter. What's going on? He says 3-4 base, 4-man, front, and nickel. They doing. Listen, we already knew it was going to be a lot of nickel. Like Denard Wilson keep 5 secondary players on the field, so we knew it was going to be heavy nickel anyway. I'm just curious to see what the front looks like when he's running that nickel, and then when he brings in the third safety, what it's going to look like. Who's coming off the field? What's the down and distance when he's doing this? That's what I want to know. But again, we won't know. We won't know. I'm loving it though. I'm loving it. Danny Boy says that was a century ago. Come on, guy. Who you talking about? Nagy still. Listen, leave it alone, man. Let people let people see the best in Nagy right now, man. Nagy got all the time in the world to fail, and Danny Boy, you will be absolutely right if he does fail. But let that man live a little bit right now, just a little bit. Give him a little. Right now is the perfect time to give him a little bit of grace. Just give him a little bit of grace. That's it. Just give him a little bit of grace. Trust me, because if it looks bad, Giants fans gonna let them know. They're gonna let them know. Captain Guy says, I think Banks step it up. I think Banks will step it up with this new defensive scheme. By all the reports, he has already. Some people say, well, who's the best looking cornerback? And some people have said Banks. They already talk about Paulson Adebo not looking good, even though he got the interception today. Again, off a tip pass by Tremaine Edmonds. But the word on the street has been Paulson Adebo has not looked good, and that the best cornerback right now is, Tay Banks. Now, that's either terrifying to hear, or Tay Banks is really out there playing that well. I'm hoping it's the latter. Tyrone says, Dash, you'll make a good diplomat. I don't want no part of that. And I don't want no part of that, but I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Maybe I could. I'm a peacekeeper, possibly. Gen Xer Meg says, second time making a live. I just really enjoy the chill vibe you have, Dash. And I appreciate that. And that means it's working, because that's exactly the feeling I want people to have when they're in these lives. That is a chill vibe. You feel like anybody can talk and communicate and bring up their ideas and their thoughts and opinions without feeling a certain way or getting attacked for the most part. Now that doesn't count for outsiders coming in like Commander fans that tend to jump into these lives sometimes, or Eagle fans that tend to jump into these lives sometimes, which I don't see too many Eagle fans. And then I do have a cool Dallas fan that's in here that always shows love and support too. But we getting close to the season, so you already know what's up. Now after that, go listen to what interview. The only interview I haven't seen, who was an NFL Network, who was Garofalo did an interview with Harbaugh. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I saw some clips on Twitter, but that's the only thing that I need to see as far as interviews go. I think I'm all caught up on interviews outside of that one. Where was I? Abdul Carter. Yeah. I got a question when it comes to Abdul Carter. Let me know in the chat, man. This is a question, actually, defense altogether. And I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. I apologize if I missed some of your comments, but I got to ask a question, and I do want to hear what you guys got to say. Shout out to my man Stacy in the building. Says Harbaugh has his hands on everything, so if the offense is not clicking, he will make sure they're getting the extra work. He's been the most disciplined coach we've had since Coughlin, 100%. And then also the run game. If this running game is strong, the passing game is going to succeed too. 100% in my opinion. Gen X MX says something tells me if KT has a huge season, somehow a way to pay will happen. Dawn is a master, and I have faith something will happen. I mean, at the end of the day, you can always tag him, but what does that tag look like? That's why I would just like to get it done now, to be honest. Let me get some more of these, and I'm gonna ask my question. Denard Wilson putting disguises in the game plan makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, all that predictable stuff is out of the window. You know what I mean? Disguising your coverages. That's what we'll get this year. Instead of Shane Bowen just out there playing backyard defense with these pros. It's crazy. Greg T says, I want to let the championship gear do the talking. I hear you. I just want to be good enough to talk trash too at the end of the day. Before we get that championship, I want to be good enough to talk trash. That's it. or to be able to be in the conversation that I'm not getting laughed at. I'll say that. All right, so here's my question. I asked the same question on Twitter. Last year, the New York Giants as a team, on defense, as a team, and I do apologize if I missed your comment. If you really want that comment answered, or if you had a question, go ahead and put the comment in there again. Last year, the New York Giants defense had 39 sacks. I put out a question on Twitter. I said, do you think the New York Giants will have 50 sacks total for defense this year? So let me know in the comment section. Just say yes or no. If you have a number, go ahead and put that number in the chat. But do you think the New York Giants can hit 50 sacks in 2026? Let me know. 39 last year in 2025. Can we hit 50 this year? Or this season, I should say. Let me know in the comment section. Yes or no. Let's see. The Jackal says, I'm calling it now. Those 2 tight end sets will be unstoppable. Okay. All right. I got some answers already. Danny Boy says no, New York Giants won't hit 50 sacks. Mark Thompson also says no, but he says 48. That's only 2 less. That's fine. Gen X and Meg says yes. The Jackal says, I'll take the over on 50 sacks. Easy. I hear you. Orlon says yes. Greg T says 56 for LT's number. I'll definitely take that. Don Devine says, with these linebackers, yes. Captain God says 65. Okay, I'm here for it. I Am Carter says 61. CT Video says definitely too many gifted pass rushers. Never can have too many. GL John Stewart in the building. What's going on, Greenland? And he says, what would be more shocking? Banks winning a starting role, Evan Neal playing in a starting role if there's an injury, or Hyatt making the practice squad? Anything that probably got Hyatt to do with anything is probably going to be the answer there for me. So I'll leave that off. Banks starting or Evan Neal starting? Evan Neal starting will be a bigger shocker than Banks starting to me. Pete Winder says 60 sacks. Corky says yes to 50. Big Blue Reborn says, for real, what I saw, without a doubt. That's what's up. H-Town says way more turnovers for sure. I hope so. What we have, 9 last year? 9 turnovers? That's it, right? Something like that. Tyrone Hall says Hyatt making the squad. The practice squad. He might be on the practice squad. There's a chance. Aaron Mason says most definitely. Will says 58. Banks, get some respect. Carl, that is, we know when you say Banks, we understand what you mean. 58 Banks, you ain't gotta lead us to that one. You ain't gotta lead us to water with that one. We know what you mean when you say 58 and Banks. At least Giant fans do. Mark Thompson says Evan Neal seems to be on the outside looking in at the moment. And speaking of that too, man. Speaking of that, another observation that I read and saw is that when it comes to snap counts, first and second team is getting the majority of the snaps, and as far as leftovers go for the third team, it's not much. It's the third team there's not much leftover snaps for the third team. So some of your favorite bubble players, fan favorites like a Turbo Miller and stuff like that, they're not getting the snaps right now in practice to even prove themselves. So guys like Evan Neal, guys like Hyatt, guys like, even though Hyatt had played it, I think they said Hyatt had one of the best catches. That was either yesterday or today. Yesterday, Hyatt had a big catch yesterday. These guys are rarely getting snaps. So that's an interesting thing too, because again, Harbaugh said we ain't out here practicing just to practice. So if he don't expect you to contribute during the real games or when the real games start, then you're not getting a lot of snaps here, which sucks for a lot of people. But for me, he ain't playing around. If he know you ain't making the squad, he ain't gonna have you taking snaps away from a second teamer. We'll see what happens though. Captain Guy says Evan Neal is a bum, but Jalen Hyatt believes. But Harbaugh believes in him. Okay, I don't know, because he ain't getting snaps. He ain't getting snaps really. I don't know. A lot of people ain't getting snaps, man. Once these pads come on, yeah, you're probably gonna see some more people just because they don't want people out there getting hurt. But so far, these first 4 days of practice, man, if you're on that third team, you're on the outside looking in. You're on the outside. It's like going to the store and they change the hours. You just on the outside looking through the window like, wait a minute. Y'all ain't supposed to be closed yet. That's what the third stringers are doing. They're out there looking at the shop. Shop's closed. Ain't no work for you right now. Ain't no work for you right now. I gotta be easy too, because you never know who's watching, man. And hopefully I'm trying to listen. These guys are right now engulfed in football. They right now, you know, what time is it over? It's 10 o'clock over there in West Virginia. They're probably already in their rooms with curfew, but they got the day off tomorrow. So maybe they are actually out karaoke bars or something like that because they're off tomorrow. But you never know who's watching, man. And this is right now, I might be the only Giants thing on right now. And I know sometimes they're probably not even watching, but maybe they might be watching. Maybe 1 or 2 people are watching right now. It's 190 people in here. And make sure y'all hit the like button too, man. I see you guys watching. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Big Ski says 55 sacks on the season. I like it. Joel Castillo, what's going on? He says, looking at a top 10 defense. Talking about Duel and Spider about to go crazy, 50 plus sacks season. Let's make it a little bit more difficult, right? So 50 sacks as a whole for the defense. Okay. Let's make it a little bit difficult, right? How do we get there? How do the New York Giants get to 50? Let's do a quick breakdown, man. For those that want to participate, let's do a quick breakdown. All right, so Brian Burns. If you had to guess right now, last year Brian Burns had 16 sacks, right? 16 sacks. How many do you think Brian Burns gets this year? And also, while I'm talking about Brian Burns, I still have not seen his name on the top 100 players yet. Still haven't heard his name on the top 100 or seen him on the top 100 players yet. If he gets snubbed from the top 100 players, I'm going to be pissed off. We got the first person said, Heart Finish Kendall said 15. Danny Boy said 16, 18. Damn. That's half of the total right there. I Am Carter says 14. Okay. Tyrone Hall says if Flowers can't find a new home, there's hope for Hyatt. Oh, if Flowers can find, maybe. Burns 12.5 sacks by Mark Thompson. Burns 17 from Greg T. So we got 15, 16, 14, 12. It's a lot going on. Arlon says 15. Aaron Mason is bugging right now with 20, but I'm here for it. He's the only playmaker, Danny Boy. You going listen, man. Danny Boy, Danny Boy, you've been rocking for a long time. I cannot wait to go through this season and get your real reaction and what's it called, revelation to what this season can be. Oh man, Aaron Mason says he's capable of 20 in this defense. Listen, anything's possible. I'm just saying that's a hell of a number, just off the bat, 20. But I hope you're right. Brandon says 11 to 12. Was it Danny? Shout out to my man Danny, also in the Danny 8697. What's going on? Way to go. There it is. He says, what's good, brother? Sorry I'm late to the party. Thought I'd swing by and show some love. Appreciate the love and support as always, Danny, man. Where's Sneaky at, man? Where's Sneaky G at, man? I ain't seen Sneaky G in a while. Somebody wake Sneaky G up, man. Tell him to get back to the lives on Thursday, man. We got some stuff to talk about. I missed the collabs, man. Unless I'm just missing and not getting the notifications. Corky says 11. Hooks Rub is in the building. What's going on? He says ain't much going on in West Virginia other than the Biscuit World Breakfast Restaurant. They got a biscuits out there? That place is amazing. They got a biscuits out there in West Virginia? They got a biscuits out here. Is it good? I ain't know. They ain't know about it. Danny Boy says, I've been right all the time. Listen, I need you to be wrong, Danny Boy. I understand you got a good track record. I need you to be wrong, Danny Boy. With all due respect, I need you to be absolutely wrong. I mean, dead wrong. I need you to be dead wrong, Danny Boy. I need you to be dead wrong. Unless you're talking positive. Anything you say positive, I hope you're absolutely right. But if you're talking negatively, I hope you're absolutely wrong. Mark Thompson says Carter will take the sacks from Burns. Tibbs will chip in with some too. All right, so that's the next person, Abdul Carter. How many sacks y'all got for Abdul Carter? Anthony Cherry says 12 for Burns. Danny Boy says y'all drink the Kool-Aid, not me. Have you ever had Kool-Aid, Danny? Let me know. It's delicious. The Kool-Aid is delicious. It's been a while since I had Kool-Aid myself, you know. Got to watch that stuff. It's not good for you. But Kool-Aid is delicious. You should try some. You should absolutely try some. Gen Xer says, I would love to be overly optimistic and say 20, but realistically 15 to 17. That's a fantastic year. 15 to 17 is fantastic. 20 is great. 20 is great. 15 to 17 is very good. Shit, 15, 17 is great too. Pardon my French. That slipped. Josh says 13 and a half. His numbers will drop, but Carter and Tibbs will go up. That's what I'm hoping for. Corky says 13 for Carter. Okay. Danny Boy says Carter 10-ish. That'd be a step up from last year for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he did more though. Especially the way he's looking. Captain God says they robbed Burns in the top 100. Madden snuffed him. The brother was second to Miles in sacks last year. There's some crazy bias going on in the league. Hall of Fame voting. The one thing I will say, I think they're still in the 40s for the top 100. If we get to like the top 25 and we don't hear his name called yet, he ain't gonna be on the list because I don't think he's top 25. I don't think he's top 25 in the league, period. But I can see him in that range from 25 to 35 too, or 25 to 40. But if we get to like 25 and his name has not been called yet, then I'm sitting here like they snubbed him and it's disrespectful, and I can't wait for him to take it out on the league. H-Town says Tibbs 7, Carter 10. Tibbs 7, Carter 10, Burns 15, Reese 6, and the rest of the D-line or D-line and DBs. What's the rest for and the rest? 6. Hold on. Yeah, Tibbs 7, Carter 10, Burns 15, Reese 6. So that's 7, 17, 15. That's 32. Good Lord. Okay. And what, 30? So the rest will be D-line and DBs. Okay. Solitary Camp says, forget about the sacks. We got to stop the run. We can do both, man. Just do both. The run is stopping the run is the most important. I'll give you that. But let's just do both. I'll meet you halfway. Just do both. I don't think that's halfway, but let's just do both. Let's stop the run and run up the sacks. Let's do that. Tyrone says, I want the defense to give me that deja vu feeling. I know what you mean. Greg T says Carter is the one who will have the major jump with double digits. I think that Abdul Carter can do that. One thing that just still scares me about Abdul Carter, like again, we know he's fast. He still looks small to me. Pause. Like Abdul Carter looked like he can put on another like 10 pounds and carry it well and it not affect his speed. But he got some of the smallest shoulders I've seen on outside linebacker. It's crazy. But he's fast and he's effective. But he still got some of the smallest shoulders I've ever seen. He look like Jameis Winston in pads, man. I'm serious. But hey, if it's working, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Corky says Kayvon Thibodeau 7 sacks. I think Kayvon Thibodeau might get double digits this year. That's my dark horse for double-digit sacks this year. It's just so many things factoring into that. I expect him to be on the field a lot. This is not going to be a traditional 3-4 defense like my man was saying earlier. A few of you guys been saying earlier. We're going to see a lot of Kayvon Thibodeau. It's going to be in not saying NASCAR package or anything like that, but we're going to like. This is not going to be a year where Kayvon Thibodeau is not getting a lot of snaps. He's one of the best players that we have on defense. You got to find a way to get him on the field with everybody else, and I think Denard Wilson has already figured that out. So Kayvon Thibodeau, I think, hits double digits. What was it? His best year was what, 12, 13 sacks? I think that 1 year, what was that, 2023? Was that 12 or 13? Yeah, either 12 or 13 sacks in 2023. So he can do it. We just got to see it again. But to everybody else's point, you got a lot of people that can get after the quarterback this year. So, only one person can, well, no, because half sacks get given out all the time. But normally only one person can get there first. And we'll see what happens with that. Danny Boy says, Danny says, you think they're going to end up trading away Tibbs at any point? I spoke on it a little bit earlier. I said, if Tibbs is playing well, but also the New York Giants are playing well, and they're on a playoff run, they're not going to trade him. If we're chasing the playoffs, they're not going to trade Tibbs if Tibbs is playing well. What? No, they're going to push all the chips to the center of the table and go. Now, if the New York Giants aren't playing well, but Tibbs is playing well, then I believe that they gotta think about it. They gotta think about it. But it just depends on what the success of the team is, in my opinion, right now. If the team is good and he's playing well, most likely he's not getting traded. And then it becomes a whole nother thing if we don't get a deal done early. We're trying to sign him at the end of the season or the beginning of the 2027 season. But right now, I don't like Harbaugh speaks highly of Tibbs. Like every time he gets a chance to or gets asked a question about Tibbs, he always speaks very, very highly of Tibbs. Even the situation where all the rumors were happening about him getting traded and how he handled it, he shows Tibbs utmost respect. So I don't think that's happening. If Harbaugh wasn't in the building and it was like a Dable and Shane thing, then they can say whatever they want. We saw with Kadarius Toney. We're not trading Kadarius Toney, and they traded him. But I think Harbaugh has a little bit more integrity than that, and then also I think that Harbaugh actually has a plan for Tibbs as well with Denard Wilson. And I don't think they want to, I think they want to see how it goes first before they can make that kind of move. That's the best way I can say it. The Jackal says it's 15 sacks for Carter. I Am Carter says 18 for Carter. So I Am Carter, if I'm not mistaken, you said what, 15, 17 for Burns and 18 for Carter. That's almost 40 there. And the goal was 50. You guys going with 70? Somebody hit 70 last year. Who was it? Denver. Denver had over 70 sacks last year as a team. Only I think only 3 teams had over 50 sacks last year, but it was a lot of teams that had between like 49 and 46. But I think only 3 or 4 teams had over 50 sacks on the season in 2025. I think so. But I know Denver had like 70. Yep. Yeah, I like these numbers from Carter. It's crazy. That's a hell of a jump. Mark Thompson, 11 sacks. Tibbs, 8.5. All right, forget that. I'm going to ask you guys another question. Shout out to Anthony Cherry with the $2 super chat. No comment, just showing love in the comment section. I appreciate that. Would you be surprised? And I'm just saying plus 10, right? Plus 10. Would you be surprised if Burns, Carter, and Tibbs all had 10 or more sacks? Would you be surprised? Surprised. Not saying that it would happen. I'm saying, would you be surprised if it did happen? If all 3 of those guys had double-digit sacks? Let me know. Yes or no? Would you be surprised? Not saying that you're saying, yes, it's going to happen. I'm just saying, would you be surprised if all 3 of those guys had double-digit sacks? Because I wouldn't be surprised. Am I expecting all 3 of those guys to get double-digit sacks? No. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen. Just curious. I Am Carter says, no, not at all. Well, I'm not surprised by that, Carter. I'm not surprised by that. Wagner, what's going on, Wagner? He says, no, I wouldn't be surprised. Danny says, not surprised. TD Midas, what's going on, TD? Ain't seen you in a while. He says, no. Danny Boy says, for me, yes. Danny Boy, man, come on, man. Hold on, Danny Boy. Honorary. You are a Giants fan. You're a Giants fan, but as pessimistic as you've been tonight, you get
away from me, you crumb. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the 3 of you. And you're a crumb creep coward.
Sorry I had to do that to you, Danny. You've been overly pessimistic, man. Overly. I usually save that for the outsiders, man. I had to hit you with that this time, though, man. I had to hit you with that this time with love, because we family. I had to throw a little elbow at you because we family. Nah, I hear you. Anthony Cherry says, no, not really. BX Created Hip Hop says yes. Mark Thompson also said, yes, I would be surprised if all 3. Okay. Gen X's Meg says, no, not at all. Tyrone says, I love double-digit sacks all around. Aaron Mason says, hell no. Ray Borey? Hold on. Ray Borey, right? Ray Borey. Shout out to Ray Borey. He says, Jermaine Edmonds and Arvell Race together are going to be amazing. It's Tremaine Edmonds and Arvell Reese, but you might be doing the speak to text. So I'm gonna say that you might be doing speak to text and Google or whoever that is, don't know, what you said, but I know what you mean. Josiah says no, they are all capable, 100%. Pete Weiner says I wouldn't be surprised, but amazed. Okay. GL John Stewart says that's not a surprise. That needs to be a standard. I'm with it. Golston 4. That's a name that I have not heard at all this training camp. I haven't heard Chauncey Golston's name once. I expect to hear a lot of the names out of the trenches starting Monday once the shoulder pads come on. No, for real. Okay, Ray Boy, you caught it. Okay, all right. I'm just now getting there. I see you caught it. I thought you was doing maybe speak to text, and it did that because somebody last week did speak to text, and it did not work. Luann says, what is your wide receiver room? Okay. All right, we're gonna flip the conversation because Luann said so. So obviously we got high thoughts and high expectations from this defense. We for the majority we think we can get over 50 sacks as a total defense. I'm not going to talk about interceptions because that is what it is, but we're going to bring up this wide receiver conversation because obviously we got our first chance to see these wide receivers in action in training camp. And I will say this: last week I had last week we didn't know exactly how Neighbors was going to look, but I got Neighbors, Slayton, Mooney, Fields, Austin, Odell Beckham Jr. That's who I had last week prior to training camp starting. I still got the same wide receivers. 6 wide receivers, the same wide receivers. I will say this though. Braxton Berrios is making a case for himself right now. I saw a tweet go out. It was Nicky Snacks. He was with Justin Pinnock, and it didn't go viral, but he had a take on Odell Beckham Jr. and Giants fans did not like it. He said he looks washed. He said Odell looked washed, and people did not like it. But despite everybody's entitled to their own opinions, man. Shout out to Nicky Snacks. Shout out to Justin Pinnock. Another thing, when it comes to Justin Pinnock, those guys are brave as hell, man. They stayed in not even a cabin. It was like a motorhome in the woods, in the Appalachian Mountains for Giants training camp. They are bolder than me. I've heard stories about the Appalachian Mountains and all of the crazy stuff that happens out there. And yeah, they're brave. They're brave. But back to the wide receiver room. That's who I have in the wide receiver room, or those two. I am Carter with the $4.99 super chat says first time here, great form, and I appreciate that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button too, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, brother. Let me know. Thank you for letting me know how I'm doing, though, man. I appreciate the love and support as always, man. As always, appreciate the love and support. Danny Boy says it's the Modelo. We talking about beer? What happened? What happened? Danny says Arvell Reese rookie season, he will have 10 sacks, book it. I don't know. As an off-ball linebacker, but it's Arvell Reese, so it's Arvell Reese, so yeah, 10 sacks is possible. But him being an off-ball linebacker and depending on what his assignments are going to be, we know on certain occasions they're going to send him off the edge. We've seen it already, and they talked about it because they haven't shown us a damn thing. But we've heard rumors of Arvell Reese coming off the edge a little bit already in training camp. But as an off-ball linebacker getting 10 sacks, man, I don't know. Now, if he was playing edge fully, then I would be like, hell yeah, 10 sacks. But as an off-ball linebacker, I don't know. It's hard for an off-ball linebacker to get 10 sacks, man. It's hard for an edge rusher to get 10 sacks. But if you say book it, I'm with you. I'm with you. Crumb bum laughing. Yo, listen, man. My bad, Danny boy. I had to, man. He said, sorry, Dash, no more. Nah, man. You know what it is. It's all love. It's family. We family in here, right? We all Giants fans. We family. Family has fun. When last time you went to a party with your family, somebody got to get out of line, right? Dane, the beautiful monster. What's going on? He says, Big Dash, I think Likely and Theo both get 5 touchdowns, 30 catches this year. They better have more than 30 catches, man. 5 touchdowns both, though. I'm going to tell you this right now, in all honesty. I think Isaiah Likely will probably have 30 catches. All right, we're going to flip it again. Shout out to Luann. We talked. Well, actually, we're gonna come back to the wide receivers because I know a lot of people want to say who their wide receivers are. Right. I do want to take a quick sidestep, and if I don't get back to the wide receivers, somebody slap me and say get back to the wide receivers. I like this from Dane the Beautiful Monster with this about the tight ends, right? So Likely and Theo both 5 touchdowns and 30 catches. Again, to my first point to that was they better have more than 30 catches. The way this offense should run in theory, the West Coast, Dinkin and Duncan, that should help especially with a lot of 12 personnel happening. They better have 30 catches. Well, let's go to Likely first, because let's go to Likely first. I wouldn't be surprised if Likely had 5 targets a game at least 5 targets a game for Likely, and let's say he catches all 5. If that's five catches a game, he gonna have 30 catches by 6 games for the most part. So I think Likely has at least 50 to 60 catches. He probably gonna get anywhere from 70 to 80 targets, and 5 touchdowns. Should that sound about right for Likely? 5 touchdowns. I think he only had 1 touchdown last year. Obviously, he's playing behind Mark Andrews, but 5 touchdowns for Likely with about 50, 60 catches and about 600 to 700 yards. That's where I think Likely could be right now in 2026. And his ceiling might be even higher than that. When it comes to Theo had like 5 touchdowns last year. Am I bugging? Said 30 catches in the first 5 games. I don't think that, like, if you told me Likely had 5 catches, that's a lot of passing though too, man. So I mean, it might be a little bit different if we heavy run. But I think with the Dinkin and Duncan, most likely is going to be, no pun intended, but most likely is going to get a lot of targets early in the game. Theo Johnson, because I think he's going to get involved early in games. Theo Johnson, because Likely is on the squad now, he's probably going to get less targets. But I think Theo's going to move the chains a lot too. But once you get into the red zone, Dart likes Theo. So I can see both of these guys having 5 touchdowns apiece. I think Theo's catches go down. Theo might have 30 catches on the year. But I think Likely's catches are going to be a lot higher. Yardage is going to be a lot higher. But I think the touchdown is going to be roughly about the same. Damn, I went around the world a few times to try to get that one. Okay. Let me know what y'all think about the tight end spot. 5 apiece. Okay, he said 5. Likely 60 catches for Danny Boy. Yeah, 60 catches sound about right, man. He gonna get a lot of targets, man. This Dinkin and Duncan offense, he gonna get a lot of targets. Also, the way that Dart like to scramble and extend plays, whoever's in that area of the field, that short intermediate part of the field, and who has the best scramble drill too. And we've seen Isaiah Likely on the scramble drill with Lamar Jackson coming up with some big catches. Yeah, I think Likely 60 catches is right on pace. And about 600, 700 yards is where I think Likely ends up being in 2026. And again, I think his ceiling possibly just talent-wise might be higher than that. But you got to understand, we still got Neighbors out there. You still got Fields out there. You still got the rest of these wide receivers and Theo. Also, when you throw in Cam Scatterbull and Tyrone Tracy being used in the passing game too, it's just so many balls that get passed around. Pause. Likely should have 70 catches. 70 catches is high, man. 70 targets seems about right. And if you can get 50 catches off of 70 targets, 55 catches over 70 targets, then yeah. 70 if Likely gets 70 catches, he 1,000-yard tight end. I'm sorry. That should make him 1,000-yard tight end. Unless you're talking about 2-3 yard passes. But for me, if Likely's catching the ball, I'm assuming he's probably getting 8 yards a pop. Probably 8 yards a pop. I think he can get, if he gets 70 catches, I think he can crack 1,000. We'll see what happens with that, though. T-Tom says Likely gets about 65 for 706 touchdowns. That sound about right, T-Tom. That sounds about right to me. Shout out to my man Born for Sports in the building. He says, salute Dash. I think likely goes 45 receptions, 710 yards, 6 touchdowns. Theo, 30 catches, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns. I like that too. I like that too. Theo, I'll give Theo more touchdowns because somehow, some way, he seems to box people out and find Jackson, or I should say, wave his hands in front of Jackson Dart to get the pass. But it just depends. Like if we're doing a lot of scoring, outside of the red zone, that's one thing. Where but if we're in the red zone, then I believe that Theo becomes more of a target inside the red zone than Likely does, if that makes sense. I think Likely is more of a threat when you're on the opposite side of the field, like big catch capabilities and stuff like that. But once you get down into the red zone where things get a little bit tighter, I think Theo has a chance to get a lot of those touchdowns over Likely. But we'll see what happens. We got options, though. We got options, and that's what matters. We got options. Pete Weiner says, why is your 6th and 7th receiver Juju and OBJ? Who you talking about? I said I got OBJ as wide receiver 6 still. Even though Braxton Berrios is having a good start to training camp, and we finally got a touchdown from Odell Beckham today. If Harbaugh is saying 6 wide receivers, I believe him with 6 wide receivers. And right now, the way that it's looking is Neighbors going to be available. I don't think he's going to be on PUP. I don't think he's going to be on IR when the season starts, for sure. Not either. So because they want to have the option to be able to play him. So wide receiver, barring any kind of setback, Neighbors is going to be available week 1. Not necessarily, he might not play week 1, but he should be available week 1. So I think it's really going to be 6 wide receivers only, and it's really going to be a fight for that 6th spot. And I think Odell Beckham, Braxton Berrios, and Juju all going to be fighting for that 6th spot. If you want to throw in Hodges, I don't know if with the addition of Malachi Fields, respectfully, I think Hodges becomes expendable. But yeah, it's just a numbers game after that. And I know a lot of people, shout out to Tim on Online Big Blue, because he was saying they were talking about wide receivers, and he was saying somebody asked him, is Odell Beckham going to play special teams? And he said he's wide receiver 6. Of course he's going to play special teams. And I thought about it. Odell Beckham ain't playing special teams. If he's not the returner, Odell Beckham ain't going to be on special teams. You kidding me? Now, you might say, well, since he ain't going to be on special teams, what's the purpose of him being wide receiver 6? It'll be because he's Odell Beckham at the end of the day. And also for me, I don't need my wide receivers being gunners. I got cornerbacks and safeties for that. But I digress. Again, we can't agree on everything. It's still respect and love at the end of the day. But that's how I feel. I am Carter says Theo will have 25 to 30, to be honest. Possible. Danny Boy, I agree. Not when Neighbors is fully healthy. I agree with that 100%. And I do think that the New York Giants will be taking advantage of slants. Wide receiver slants. I think we're going to take advantage of wide receiver slants again. I think Malik Neighbors can take a couple of slants to the house, the same way that Odell Beckham was able to take slants to the house. I never understood with Brian Dable for all those years, and you got your cornerbacks giving 8 yards of cushion, and we never ran slants. I don't understand. Never understood that. Damn cornerbacks was sitting there 8 yards deep, and nobody was running slants. I never could understand that. Let me move on. You get to talking about Dable, I get fired up. And again, for everybody out there, man, make sure you guys, it's some fantastic Giants content creators that are also in the chat right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to those channels. I'll say a couple of names. I got Born for Sports, Deala here, Big Blue Reborn, my man TP Way. All these guys are in the comment section. Make sure you guys show love and support to those guys. If I miss anybody else in here that's currently active in the chat that also creates Giants content, please let me know and I'll shout you guys out as well. I am Carter says Hodges and Berrios will be on the practice squad. I don't think Berrios is going to make it to the practice squad, to be honest. I don't think Berrios is going to make it to the practice squad. He's too valuable. So if we make the decision not to keep him on the 53, we're making the decision to not have access to him. I'll say that. So it just depends on how they feel about it. Because he can if you keep Braxton Berrios, yeah, he got too much skin in the game when it comes to the league, man. He's a good returner, good special teamer. Yes, he wasn't signed in this point of camp from anybody else, but if we cut Braxton Berrios, he is probably going to end up somewhere else on somebody's active 53. I do believe that. So if you plan on keeping Odell Beckham and cutting Berrios, that means you're okay with losing the opportunity to sign him on the practice squad. And also we got to go through preseason too. We've seen already in the first couple of practices around the league, a lot of people have gotten injured. Some people are gone for the season. Carolina got hit. What was it? That rookie that they got from Tennessee? He's out for the season. What was his name? The wide receiver, Tennessee, Brazil. Chris Brazil, out for the season. ACL. They lost Nick Scorton with an ACL. Carolina going through it right now. They're going through it. Yes, Danny boy. Yes. So if Berrios is out, who is the punt returner? Austin. Absolutely. That's exactly who the punt returner is going to be if we don't keep Berrios. Speaking of returners, man, today was the first time they did kick return, and they did have information on who the kick returners were. Let me go to my notes. Sorry for all the paper wrestling. But I still write notes like an old man on paper, pen and paper. We're kick returners. Okay, so kick returners out there today in sets. You had Banks and Tracy first, and this is per Bobby Skinner. Banks and Tracy. Then you had Berrios and Miller. Then you had Gibson and Gray. Then you had Banks and Singletary, and then you had Hyatt and Miller. These are kick returns. Kick returns. That's what they had. Banks, Tracy, Berrios, Miller, Gibson, Gray, Bankston, Singletary, Hyatt, Miller. Again, this is kick return, not punt return. Yeah, Money Mike. Yeah, Chris Brazzell out for the season. Torn ACL, out for the season. Did it the first day of camp. Crazy. They lost Nick Scorton too. So the first round pick they had last year, and I believe Brazil was Brazil a first round pick this year? Whatever, but Chris Brazil out too. So yeah, 2 high draft picks out this year that they had. Banks gets cut. That's crazy. What Banks you talking about? Oh, Banks is making the team. Tay Banks is making the 53. Anybody thinking Banks is not making the 53? I'm sorry. Banks is definitely making the 53. Number 1 kick returner. Fighting for a cornerback 2 spot right now. Even though Greg Newsome right now is leading in the competition for CB2, but Banks is definitely making the 53. He's definitely making the 53. We don't got enough. We ain't deep enough at cornerback for him not to make the 53. I'm just trying to think about any other injuries. Was it 4th string tight end Connor? Was it muscle tightness for him? Artie Green. Muscle tightness for him. I don't know if he came back today. Somebody let me know. I didn't see anything about those guys being injured today too. But Art Green sat out with muscle tightness. I believe that was day 3 of practice. That's what I'm saying, Carter. Banks ain't getting cut. He ain't getting cut. Big Ski says we need new blood for wide receiver. Hodgins already hit his ceiling. You know, I'm going to say this about Isaiah Hodgins, man. One thing that Isaiah Hodgins does is take advantage of his opportunities. When we signed Hodgins in 2022, nobody knew who the hell he was. And what did he do when he got here? He got here and he made the New York Giants fan base fall in love with him. Obviously, things didn't work out. He ended up in Pittsburgh for a while. We got him back last year. He's hanging on so far. Might be his last hurrah as far as with the New York Giants. But I always got the utmost respect for Isaiah Hodgins because when we didn't have anybody else, because remember those wide receivers in 2022. Hodgins stepped up. So I always got respect for Isaiah Hodgins. Banks thriving right now, Captain God. That's what they say. That's what they're not showing us nothing. But that's what they've been saying. The reports out of camp is Tay Banks is doing well in this Denard Wilson's defense. And yeah, but we haven't seen the damn thing, just reports. They got it locked down. No videotape. No videotape. For some reason, I feel like acting like Joe Clark from Lean On Me. There's no videotape. Nothing. You can't get it. The enemy's at the door. They're not having any of it. Some of those might get that reference. Some people might. I'm old. And I'm from New Jersey. And if you know the movie Lean On Me, you understand what I'm talking about. TD Midas says Richie James a real that's part of that. Listen, if you go back and look at that roster, if you go back and look at that wide receiver room in 2022, you got to break out in song Amazing Grace, because I don't know how they was out there doing it, but they was doing it. We won a playoff game. A lot of heavy lifting from Saquon Barkley. You know, I got to give Daniel Jones his props too for the 2022 season, but that wide receiver room was trash. Trash. When you on paper and on the field. Like, you had some bright spots with Slayton. Richie James disappeared after that season with the New York Giants. I didn't see Richie James again. But yeah. They turned water to wine in 2022 for sure. And then they turn right back into a pumpkin. That's another reference of a movie, Cinderella. I bet you guys have seen it. Shout out to my man Robbie in the building. What's going on, Robbie, man? Again, Robbie, man, your profile pic makes me happy. Yo, that profile pic, man, you look like that's like the straight joy. Whatever's going on in that picture, you look like you are having the most fun. Whatever part in time that is, hopefully you get a chance to go back there, because that's pure happiness. That's every time I see that profile pic, that's what I'm like, damn, that man is happy in this picture. Look like you running a trail. You got your dog in your hand. Pure happiness and joy on your face in that picture. Shout out to my man Robbie, man. Football with the fellas. What's going on? Listen. Shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming in and hopping in the chat. Fantastic Giants content creators. If you're not subscribed to Football with the Fellas, make sure you guys go over and show those guys some love, man. Tay Banks may look good in shells, but when the pads come on and the running game starts getting physical, Banks will disappear again. Mark my words. I can't even argue with you. We all saw how many business decisions Tay Banks made. Now, this is the only thing that I can say to that. It's a contract year. Your NFL career is on the line. You're a 6 foot, almost 6'1", almost 200-pound cornerback. We need you to play a little bit more physical. But I can't argue with that, because I saw him. I saw him make business decisions. On the goal line, make business decisions, and he ain't want no parts of anything. Pause. I don't even know if I need to pause that. But I'm just saying, I can't even argue with you, Football with the Fellas. I've seen him make business decisions, and not good ones. Banks were open, 100%. And hopefully he's watching this too, man. People ain't forget, man. Dallas game, Commanders game. What was in the... We saw you make business decisions. It was like Cam Newton in the Super Bowl, right? Making a business decision, going after we saw you make business decisions. We ain't forget that. Look, we bring shout out to Football with the Fellas. He said, mark my words. Let me tell you something. When somebody in the statement will mark my words, they are dead serious. Dead serious. Don't nothing say I'm serious like mark my words. Like, you don't want to go there, man. Mark my words. You better not go there. Wherever there is, you better not. If somebody tell you, hey, don't do that, mark my words. They mean that. They mean it. Football with the Fellas, they mean that, man. Uh-oh. What I got? Somebody spam in the chat. Who's this? Hip Lolo, or whatever. Somebody spamming the chat. They get disrespectful. I have to boot them. Robbie Garn says, Dash, we are jinx. Hold on, Dash, we are jinx because you and I both said business decisions at the same time. Business decisions. Banks made business decisions. 100%. 100%. I had to put him on timeout. Had to put Hip in timeout. I don't know what big ass Batman means. You calling me because I got black on I'm big ass Batman, or you just out here trolling? I don't know. But you on timeout. Next time you get in the boot. If you're not family, you get in the boot. Ace Boogie, what's going on? This is breaking news. This just sent word out. The Giants camp is that the quarterback Jackson. Yeah, cut it out. Hold on, Ace Boogie. I got something for you, Ace Boogie.
Away from me, you crumb. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the three of you. And you're a crumb creep coward.
That's for you, Ace Boogie. And I've done that before to you, Ace Boogie. Yeah, right. Milk does today. I want my one-on-one for saying some BS. He want to fade. Milk does want to fade. Ace Boogie. He want to fade. Crumb bum is crazy. All right, big ass Batman. Okay, there you go. Guess what? Now you get to, you know what you get to do? You get to create a whole nother account and come back. And then as soon as you come back, I get to ban you again. I get to ban you again. Maybe you got something better to do. I don't know. But I'm gonna enjoy it. See, big ass Batman, he trolling. Okay. I'll take it though. 100%. 100%. Our name, what's going on? I got people that'll fight for me in the chat. I need some of those. What do you call those people that they get the wrench and can kick people out for me? I got to figure out how to do that. How do I do that? I don't know how to do that. I don't want to ban anybody else, but I'm cool with kicking people out. Crumb bum is crazy though. Crumb bum is crazy. Capping God, I swear, I'll just ban him again. He can create as many. If he want to sit here all night and create new email addresses to come in here and troll, we're gonna shoot him down, man. We're gonna mods. That's what they call. Thank you. And I don't see the option to create mods in here. I'm gonna have to get Mrs. Dash to do it. Start shooting people down if they get this. Guess what, man? You know what? Maybe I'm doing things right. That I got people wanting to troll lives now. Maybe I made it to the next level. I'd have made it to the level where people care enough to troll in the comment section. It is what it is. I'll take a win. Look at him. There he is again. Number was it? Number one Popo. Yeah, I'm here. Here's this for you first. I'm gonna hit you with this first. There you go. And just like that. Gone. And just like that, gone. All right, football with the fellas, and thanks for the shot. Nah, man, listen. Anybody out there in the community, shout out to y'all. We are building a fantastic community when it comes to Giants content creators, and everybody got my support, man. But you guys do good work, man. I appreciate what you guys do. And again, make sure you guys subscribe to Football with the Fellas, along with a lot of the other fantastic Giants content creators that are in the building right now. Yeah. That's funny. Luann says, Dash, are you going to do any live games? You know I'm not doing any live games, Luann. I can't do it. My blood pressure will not allow it. Oh, said, are you going to do any live? Or am I going to any live games? Or you said, am I going to do any live games? I don't know. I'll figure out this moderator thing in a second, but I see I got a couple people already that are down. Here he is again. I'm gonna fix this permanently. Also, actually, I'm not gonna worry about it because you know it is what it is. Where am I at? All right, 155. And guess what? I got another one for him. I got another one for him. Since he likes to lead it.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
The charge is trolling. That's what the charge is. That's what the charge is, man. I don't know, Kenneth Perkins. Somebody that felt like, it's Saturday night. And some people just don't got better things to do. Could at least call you Spider-Man. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But we almost at the 2-hour mark anyway, so we're about to get out of here. You like that one too, cringy? I've been waiting to use that one. I never could find the right time to use that one, man. But sometimes you got to strong arm people. And I feel like I had the strong arm dude a couple of times. So it finally was useful. But I tell you this, though. And we've reached that part of shout out to everybody that's still in the building, 165 people still in the building. You know what happens at the end of these live streams. We've talked a lot of Giants football. And now we get the chance to hang out for the last couple of minutes. My man got so many logins. So now it's time to do this, right? Hold on. Kenneth Perkins says, what do you think of Philly content, guys? Like last night? Yeah, listen, man. I can't wait to get. First of all, I can't wait for Philly week. I can't wait for Philly week first. And then being able to talk trash to the Philadelphia Eagles fans. That's what I can't wait for. And once that happens, and once we beat Philly again, because now that same guy from last night that you're talking about, right? That same guy from last night that you're talking about is on a high horse when it comes to Philadelphia. He is on a high horse. So for me, I'm sitting back. I'm like, you know what? They can talk right now. Philadelphia Eagles fans, they can talk right now. And like I said last night during that live stream was this. I said, the Eagles are moving backwards. Eagles are moving backwards. They went from 14 wins to 11 wins, and they better not have 8 wins this year or less because I'm on their necks. Foot on necks. That's what I'm talking about. So we do have to wait a little bit longer, Scott. We got to wait a little bit longer in the season to for that first game, but I can't wait. And I want to beat Philly in Philly so I can shut them up. That's what I want, man. Milk Does got a question. He says, who's going to week 1? He'll be there. Anybody that's going to the home opener, let me know. Who's going to week 1? Let me know. Let me know who's going to week 1. I'm curious to see who's going to week 1. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Kenneth Perkins says they're talking like Philly are the standard. I said the same thing you said since Super Bowl 1 through or going backwards. No, they're going backwards. Yes, that's absolutely what it is. But I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Dan, you got your hand up. You saying bye? Or you got your hand up because you want to say something? Let me know. Shout out to my man Simeon in the bill. What's Simeon at? Shout out to my man Simeon. What's going on, man? How you doing? Dealer says, I think Philly fans know in the back of their minds what you just said is true. They're moving backwards, man. They got no A.J. Brown, but the biggest loss for the Philadelphia Eagles is Jeff Stoutland, their offensive line coach. Jeff Stoutland has been their offensive line coach for 13 years, 13 seasons, and they've had a dominant offensive line. And now their dominant offensive line coach is gone. Their first season, they made him mad. He wanted to be offensive coordinator. They told him no, and he's gone now. I wanted to pick him up too. I was hoping Harbaugh was going to be able to do something and get Stoutland to the Giants, but we have who we have as our offensive line coach, and we'll see what happens. Let's see. Shout out to my man Jay Saint. He said, saw your video this morning. Glad you enjoyed Spider-Man. Can't wait to chop it up Monday. Kid Blue might be joining as well. Shout out to those. That's the young guns. If you getting the Hub and you getting Kid Blue, that's the young guns when they together. So for those that don't know, I will be joining my man Jay Saint's channel on Monday, and we're not talking about football. We're talking about Spider-Man. So if you guys want to go over that channel, enjoy that. I will share the link when I get it. And actually, yeah, I don't think you sent me the link yet. So I will post the link whenever I get the link, and yeah, it should be fun. You know, we always talk a little bit of football, but we get the chance to talk about other things, and I do enjoy that about my man Jay Saint. John Stewart says the best way to deal with trolls is to pretend like they don't exist. If they send a super chat, then accept their donation while continuing to ignore them. Eventually, they will stay under the bridge. No, I agree. Where am I at? Shout out to my man T-Tom in the building. Where we at? Justice says I'll be there week 1, MetLife Sunday Night Football. That's what I wanted to go to the home opener so bad. But for those that know, you start the fourth quarter of the work season. It's a busy time. So I won't be going to the home opener, but I am going to a game. And once we get closer to that game, I will let you guys know what game I'm going to. Our name says Eagles are losers. Clearly. Anthony Phillips says, yo, me and my son will be there coming from Virginia. He's a Cowboys fan, but deep down he rocks with the Giants. Anthony Phillips, man. First question is, how did the son become a Cowboys fan? Let me know. Is it the mother's fault? Let me know. You ain't got to let me know. I'm just saying. Hey, Jay Saint, quick question, Jay Saint. What are you giving Spider-Man as far as a score? What are you scoring Spider-Man? And anybody that's seen Spider-Man, let me know if you guys what ranking you guys give Spider-Man. Let me know. JJ the King says, I wish I can go so I could slap a Cowboy fan. We got to keep it peaceful, man. Let all the fighting happen on the field, man. I think the fans did enough fighting when the Knicks was on their run. It was enough damage. Then, as Giants fans, let's do the fighting on the field. Gen X Meg says, I'll be there week 1, 40th home opener in a row. That's right. Because you got season tickets. That's right. I remember you mentioned that, I think, last week in the live. You said you were a season ticket holder all the way back to your grandfather. I think you said that, if I'm not mistaken. I try to remember the people that are in these lives, but I believe that's what you said last week, Gen X and Meg. Let me know for sure. He said his mother. It makes sense, man. Again, for me, I got lucky. My wife is a diehard Steelers fan, and we already know the Maras and the Rooneys are family, so we got kind of lucky. My wife got all the bragging rights because as long as we've been married, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Steelers have been winning the most of the games. So, bragging rights, she got them. Danny Boy said more of a Hulk guy. Danny Boy, the movie's fantastic though. The movie is fantastic though, like so fantastic. It's crazy. Yeah, people were gassing the movie, so I went in there with high expectations, and it exceeded my expectations. So yeah. Captain Guy said, yo, I had to choose a game this season to go, and the 10 cost me $650, and it's in the nosebleeds, and I'm upset, but damn. My tickets ain't cost me that much. I got a pretty good deal, and I got my tickets early. And especially for where I'm going for the game too. It's an away game for the Giants. But it didn't cost me that much. The parking is ridiculous though. The price of parking. The last away game I went to was the New York Giants versus San Fran. That was an away game in San Fran. That was 2023. The cost of parking is crazy. Crazy. And it's just because I'm complaining just because it's parking. Just because it's parking. It ain't like crazy, but it's parking. So, football with the fellas. Spidey was great as always. Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. I'd give it the latest film a solid 9 out of 10. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Absolutely right there with you. DJ 100 grand says, don't start fighting because y'all know y'all gonna lose. Cowboys Nation in the building. We putting the pause on the Cowboys. Last time we played the Cowboys, we put the pause on them, man. Don't do that. And this time, open this like y'all, we owe y'all still. We owe the Cowboys still. That win at the end of the season last year, we should have beat y'all. We should have swept y'all last year. If it wasn't for our dumbass defensive coordinator, Shane Bowen, with that soft shell and not even playing decks on the field and putting y'all in field goal range. Listen, y'all, we could have swept y'all last year. Dave Chappelle style, we sweeping. But now, come week 1, I can't wait. DJ 100 Grand, hopefully you're in the building for the recap for that one. Hopefully you're in there for the recap. Tyrone Hall says, my son is a Cowboy fan. Is happens. The division, though? That's the thing for me. In the division, that's the part that hurts my heart the most. Like not being a fan of another team in another division. But in the same division, that hurts, man. That hurts. But also you get bragging rights when you win. What Jay said. He says, my plan is if the Giants make the playoffs, I will attend that game, home or away, within reason. I hear you. Giants make it to the playoff game. That's different. Oh, here we go. Are you really going to talk to me about a game that didn't matter? I know you better than that. You know what's crazy about that, man? Because that's the main argument that it was the last game of the season. We pulled the starters. Y'all pulled the starters because y'all realized y'all wasn't winning the game. That's what happened. Because if y'all would have came out in that first quarter and belt the ass on the New York Giants, they would have probably kept y'all in there. They probably would have kept the starters in there. Y'all would have left the season on a high note with a win. But as soon as Schottenheimer? Yeah, as soon as Schottenheimer realized, oh man, Giants still playing like they got something to do. He said, all right, Dak, we're gonna get Dak up out of here. He done took enough hits. Let's get Dak up out of here. Let's get all these other guys up out of here too. But y'all left your offensive line in there. I remember. And I said, as soon as that happened, I said, oh man, I can see it now. I said, I can't even talk trash about this game because Cowboy fans are going to be like, it didn't mean anything. And we pulled our starter. Y'all pulled y'all starters because y'all didn't have a choice. Y'all didn't have a choice. And the game didn't mean anything too. I understand that. But y'all didn't have a choice. We needed the draft pick and we needed y'all not. Cut it out. And you're welcome for Caleb Downs. But cut it out. Cut it out, man. T Tom says, nah, Dash, that last game was trash. It didn't matter. I said it didn't matter. To you, to me, it didn't matter. For the players, I would think that the players would want to win games. Players don't give a damn about draft picks. They don't care about somebody getting picked that could possibly replace them. They want to win the games. So for you and me, T-Tom, it absolutely didn't matter at all. It didn't matter anything for the GM. Didn't matter anything for the coaching staff because they all fired in with the players. They got especially Jackson Dart. He got to beat a division rival and end his season with a much-needed victory. And it means the world to those guys. They needed to know what winning felt like because there was a lot of losing. So I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Pause. Captain Guy says, for your information, the original Cowboys were black. You know, I told my kids that story and they was laughing like, yeah. A lot of people don't realize that cowboy used to be a derogatory word. And then guess what? They made Cowboys cool. And now a lot of people want to be Cowboys. But that's a history lesson for another show at another time. I'm 10 minutes over. I appreciate everybody for vibing. We handled the trolls. We made it through. And we got a chance to talk New York Giants football in this fan reunion. And we only had to deal with one Dallas fan. And since you're new, Mr. Dallas fan, I'm going to end this show and with a true welcome. With a true welcome, and hopefully
away from me, you crumb. You're a real crumb bum. Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the three of you. And you're a crumb creep coward.
Man, I love that one, man. But shout out to my man Danny Boy, said peace out, Dash in the chat. And my man Dealer, we're gonna end it with this. He said, I can't wait to see Neighbors cook Downs deep. That's if he ever plays out of his comfort zone in the box. that's a perfect way to end this, man. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your weekend. If you're working, have a good rest of your shift. But with that being said, Giants are off tomorrow. We come back on Monday with the pad. So it's going to be pad day. You said I'm not new. That's a new picture though, DJ Grant. I don't recognize the profile pic. Did you change your picture? And if you didn't, I apologize if you're not new. But still, the clip goes the same. Did you change your picture though for real? Because I don't remember that picture. Well, with that being said, I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows Big Blue Nation. Let's go.